Chapter 2, The Know-It-All Complex. I came home and fell into what was familiar. I was in the best shape of my life. My mind had been transformed into a soldier, and all I desired was something familiar. Over the last 6 weeks, I barely recognized myself and just wanted something that looked remotely like my life. I linked up with my old boyfriend, who was also home from college for winter break. You would think I would have learned my lesson from the last mishap with Mr. Right, but I hooked up with my ex boyfriend and had again had unprotected sex. It was only right. We had been together for a long time, like a year. It may have been one of the longest relationships I had ever had. I am being facetious as I say this. So we had a long rendezvous. We both knew nothing, absolutely nothing was going to come of this. But I was in the service and he was also in college. So I went back to my life of a soldier and continued on with building my life. After 4 weeks of being back at training, I felt a little sick. I went to the infirmary thinking I had come down with a bug. I had a bug, all right. That bug was also an embryo. I was pregnant. I was pregnant, away from home, single, and again alone. What do I do from here? I called back home to tell my baby's father, and his question was, "Is it mine?" Of course it's yours, I think. Either way, I was pregnant, and I believed it to be his. I didn't believe I was further along than us being together, but life got real, real quick. What could happen actually happened. I am screwed. I went to church with the rest of the platoon and cried my eyes out. I hadn't talked to God in a few years, and I had messed up big time. My career in the army was now jeopardized, and now I'm 19, about to have a baby. I called back home, told my mother and my father. My mother was devastated and told me the choice would be up to me whether I would have the baby or not. My father told me, "You cannot bring a baby to my house." So now I'm stuck. I am alone, facing the biggest decision of my life, and I'm facing abortion or being homeless. I'm only 19 years old, but I can do this. I have been in worse conditions than this and made it. I can do this. I just knew I wanted to go home. The Army told me I can be honorably discharged for family life choice. What about the years I've already served? What about college? What about my life? I had to make a decision. I decided I would make a decision whether to keep my baby at home amongst my family. I signed the dotted line to be released from the Army, and I went home. I flew home feeling hopeless and unaccomplished. The very thing I started off on my own has failed. The spirit of unworthiness crept into my life at that very instant. Doubt and shame followed right behind it. What would people say? What would I tell people? This secret followed me until this day. But thank God for your liberty. For whom the sun sets free is free indeed.